gets commentary, yeah. Hello and welcome to the Geneva Netball Centre for round 6 of the New South Wales Netball Premier League. Some tantalising action we're going to have this evening with the Opens first up between the North Shore United side and the Panthers. Both sides desperate to get back in the winner's circle and try and push themselves closer to playing finals netball. Still plenty of action left during the season, but it's important to be in the top half of the ladder in these early stages. I'm delighted to be joined by Maddie Proud, the New South Wales Swiss captain, making her debut tonight. And Maddie, how are you doing here tonight? You're a little bit nervous?
Yeah, I am actually. Commentating's been a bit of a dream of mine, and I like to say that I commentate a lot in front of the TV and from the sidelines. So tonight it's the real deal. So we'll see if I can live up to the hype. It
is the real deal. We've got North Shore United up against the Panthers. Obviously, you know a little bit about both their sides, with obviously some of the girls involved in the Swiss program as well. What are you making of this side? Obviously, North Shore United desperate to get back. They started the season 3-0, lost their last two, and the Panthers really struggling at the moment with just one win.
Yeah, well, North Shore United have Taylor Fraser in the middle, who's one of our training partners and has even been in our squad for a few games as well. So, you know, she brings a lot of experience and pace in that middle. So I'm sure that she'll be a welcome addition to the team, having missed a few with A&L and all of that. So I think, it's going to be a good game on our hands.
Running through the team list for the Panthers, Tian Bradley, the goalkeeper, the goal attacker, Danielle Di Bartolo, Nalani Makunde is the goal shooter, Marissa Mentis in wing attack, Jasmine Wadwell in the centre. So important to keep an eye on her as the Panthers open up their account for the evening. Lauren Russell, wing defence, and Leah Tavita is goal defence with Charlotte Lowry and Madison Mann. No doubt going to see those girls throughout the afternoon as we see a little bit of acrobatics there by this North Shore side as they tie things up inside this first minute.
Love that the keeper's already having a fly out of the circle, so that shows that they're going to have to watch that pocket, not taking too many drives down there if she's going to be out hunting.
For the North Shore side, Taylor Fraser, the centre, the goal shooter is Sabina Gomboso. Emily Moore in goal attack. Emily Nesbitt is the goalkeeper. Charlotte Rayleigh, the goal defence. Haley Wilson in wing defence, and Jordan Chu is the wing attack with Laura Bjorkman and Sarah Jameson on the interchange bench for the North Shore side. So tit for tat in terms of scoring early on here, with the Panthers up by 2-1, but North Shore moving the ball quite nicely into the semicircle.
Yeah, good start for both teams. Very clean, not too many missed goals or, missed opportunities, so they're doing very well early on.
Sabina Gomboso there with her second goal, and North Shore tie things up at 2 apiece, and going downtown there was
flirting
Rodwell.
With the baseline.
And made it a little bit difficult for Makunde, who is probably one of the tallest players in the New South Wales Premier League, so if she threw it to anyone else, it probably wouldn't have come off.
And almost up for the rebound as well.
So the Panthers will retain possession here. So this is round 6 of the New South Wales Premier League, but also the Indigenous round as well. So at the conclusion of this game, Matty will be interviewing a couple of the stars of the New South Wales Premier League and ask them about what the Indigenous round means to them. Obviously, NAIDOC week as well in Australia as well. So, showcasing all the great abilities of Indigenous peoples in Australia, not just here in Sydney, as well as a nice bit of ball movement down that right-hand side of the court there by North Shore. Harlem Globetrotters type stuff, and they score their third goal, and again we're tied up, 12.5 left in the first quarter.
And with the Indigenous round as well, the bibs that all the teams are wearing this week are designed by, I think it was Tara, what was her name again? Sorry, Tarsha, who actually plays in the Premier League in the Opens as well. So very exciting for her to have her design out on all of the team bibs. So they're looking very good.
North Shore now looking to try and get themselves back in the game, down by 1 goal.
Overcooked it a little bit on that one. Fraser obviously needs to develop those connections back with her shooters.
A bit of a costly turnover, wasn't it,
Yeah.
Matty?
You can see that they're putting that pressure on down the court, though, North Shore, with the goal defence getting a tip to the ball. Oh, and the look-away pass almost didn't go to plan, but the goal shooter managed to tidy that one up for them.
Makunde makes no mistake, and the Panthers open up a 2-goal advantage for the first time today, 5-3. They're certainly chancing their arm a little bit, the Panthers, with those long kind of aerial type passes.
Absolutely, I love it. I love a team that's not afraid to go long early, as we've just seen again. So I think that's going to be something that North Shore are going to have to look for and maybe change up a little bit what they're doing in the defensive end if they're willing to go over all defenders to get into their goal circle. But it's obviously worked for them then because they've got the turnover.
Yeah, so North Shore needed that because they were just under a little bit of a pressure there for that Panther side with those long aerial passes down the court.
So this is a very important goal for them. They need to work it into shot, and we see that with the little shuffle shot from the goal attack. But can't quite finish it off.
Well, it's almost two ends of the spectrum, isn't it? When you see North Shore, their style of play, it's very the short, sharp passing, quick, try and get the ball out as quickly as they can, whereas the Panthers are like...
going long, and it seems to be paying off for them, though.
It is at the moment. The lead by 5-3, and they've created a couple of turnovers defensively as well as they go forward to Mukunde, and she has a great opportunity to finish. She does just that.
A really strong hold from her as well, waiting until the ball was sort of right above her head to come off of that, and a really good delivery as well. So definitely something that North Shore are going to have to keep an eye on, make sure they really put the pressure on that feed into Mukunde so that it's not so easy.
Lucky to get the rebound back there, the United side.
They needed that one.
They pull a goal back and reads 6-4. We've had about 5 minutes of play inside this first quarter of this round 6 New South Wales Netball Premier League fixture between North Shore United and Panthers from Western Sydney. Both sides desperate to try and get a win at the moment. The Panthers are 1-4. They were really good last week against the Central Coast Heart, but just didn't quite have enough energy in that final quarter to reel them in, and went down 57-51 as the Panthers teeter with the rim of the goal and then
manages to go back into their hands. It seems to happen like that. The team that's got the momentum, the ball always seems to just land right in their hands. So unlucky for North Shore, but a great shot to finish off that passage of play. Di
Bartolo finishes. So the Panthers will know that they probably can't afford too many more defeats in succession. You don't want to be sitting at 1-5 at the bottom of the table. And North Shore, after starting the season so well, have fallen into a bit of a rut in the last couple of weeks, losing their last 2. 3 wins and 2 losses. They lost to Sutherland last week, but still sit inside the top 4. So a win would just consolidate their standing, and they pull a goal back here.
Yeah, it looks like it's tough for North Shore. They've had a fair few outs, missing Matisse Leatherbarrow in the goal shooter position. She's also a training partner for the Swifts, so I think they'll be missing out her out there today, and Elle Bennett's as well, who's also involved in the Swifts program. So it'll be tough for these Premier League teams having so many changes a lot of the time. So we see another good feed into the goal shooter there, but I guess they're going to have to develop those connections as the game goes on.
I guess the injuries in the top grade kind of filter down there, and you're probably at fault for one of those, unfortunately.
Sorry to the Premier League teams. I know, I think it has been a bit like that. A lot of players have been pulled in since injury, obviously, to myself, and then Laura Moore as well in recent times, injuring herself in the grand final of the ANL. So I guess that's sport, and it means, an opportunity to come up into this top grade, but it also obviously provides opportunities for girls that, might not have been playing in the open level of Premier League either. So obviously going to take a little bit of time for them to work on their connections, but hopefully they'll get that right by the end of the game. And we see another very good shot there.
I guess it's a carrot being dangled in front of a lot of these girls. Playing semi-professionally here, an opportunity to kind of make a step up to the next level if there are injuries, if you're playing well.
And I know that Bryony Akel's here tonight as well, coach of the Swifts, so shout out to Bryony. I think she said she might be listening while she watches, so I'm sure she's, scouting for, either replacement players for this year or even for the future. So someone's always watching, so you never know when that next talent might be discovered.
Rodwell gets the ball back and goes forward to Mukunde, and the talented, tall goal shooter finds another goal for the Panthers, who have already opened up a 3-goal advantage early on here. Maddie, 7.5 left first quarter.
Mukunde can do no wrong, really. She's sort of holding it here, there and everywhere, and the feeders are finding her really nicely. So good work to them so far.
North Shore trying to get their noses back in the contest, and another costly turnover and quick transition play here by the Western Sydney side. Panthers hold on to it there.
We call them the coach killers, the little fumbles and the little ones that, uncharacteristic, I'm sure.
Bit of contact there in the semicircle as well.
That looks a bit like what I do in a game. I'm often on the deck, so I feel your pain.
Nesbitt got a bit of a knock there and went down, and another goal there. It's Di Bartolo for the Panthers, and they lead by 11-7. So the bench of the Panthers always looking quite nervous and stressed, as most coaches do, but no doubt inside will be pleased with this start, and obviously seems to be a ploy, these long passes.
The vision across from
Di Bartolo takes it brilliantly and finishes.
I'm really impressed with these Panthers feeders. They're really seeing the space into their shooters and putting the ball where they think they should go instead of waiting for the shooters to set up. So really liking those connections that they're developing.
Well, last week against Central Coast, they weren't given a whole lot of room defensively by that Central Coast side, so probably didn't have an opportunity to do that. A little bit more space has been given by this North Shore United side. And
that's unlucky. I thought they actually might have come off the wing attack, so good pressure from the wing defence there, but goes the Panthers' way, so the North Shore will be wanting to get this one back again.
We're looking to try and create some defensive turnovers. At the moment, it's not happening. Here's Mentis. She goes forward to Di Bartolo, goes back to Mukunde.
Didn't want to leave her home alone. That was a bit of a risky one, going the 2 over the shot instead of covering sorry, I've forgotten.
Mukunde, I think that was there,
I know,
yeah.
You've done much better with remembering the names than I have. I'm calling them by their positions, which is not very, savvy in the commentary world.
No, you're in sparkling form to start, Maddie, so no problems there. 13-8, the Panthers against United. But it seems to, and it's not just obviously netball, but in all sports, when you've got the momentum, you're really flowing. But in netball, it seems to change very, very quickly.
Absolutely, yeah. I think you see that at the top level and obviously filters down to all levels. Momentum can shift so quickly. Teams come out to a pretty strong lead and then in the blink of an eye it can be back to even or the tables can turn. So I don't think North Shore need to panic, and I don't think the Panthers should get too comfortable now because it's definitely early days.
Yeah, nice defence there by Wilson. They won't get the ball back the North Shore side, so it will be possession with the Panthers, but they've just got to try and stem the flow and just try and reduce the damage that's been happening. They can't afford to panic too early because it is really early stages. Still 5 minutes left in this quarter as well, so plenty of netball left in this quarter. Mukunde again just leaping high, just plucking the ball out of the sky and again finishing.
I know, in the air, no one can beat her, so we might, eventually see a change up in the way that either the goal defence and goalkeeper are playing together for North Shore. If they go into a split circle or double back on the shooter might be another option to stop her being so effective. But again, just something like that might work down the other end. That was a great contest from Rayleigh, I think it is, for the Panthers.
Yeah, well, defensively they've seemed to be really switched on as well. I know there hasn't been as much ball down this end of the court, Maddie, but they've been able to create 3 or 4 turnovers at least, which is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see Gomboso down there for the North Shore is really holding strong and is quite a good target, but the Panthers defenders just confusing the space and not allowing that easy feed into her.
And so they pull one back here, United. It's the first time they've been able to find a goal for a little while. So they peg the score back to a 6-goal margin at the moment. So they push forward here to Mukunde, back to Di Bartolo. They've got a great combination. They were good last week.
That's much better pressure there. And again, just unlucky to go back into the hands of the Panthers. So North Shore can't buy an intercept at the moment.
Rodwell goes to Di Bartolo to
quick
Mukunde.
hands.
And I was told last week that Mukunde used to be a basketballer, so that's probably comes in pretty handy.
I was going to say, you can see that by the way she uses her body, sets up the screens and opens up the space. So that basketball background definitely working wonders for her tonight.
Yeah, she's been able to create a fair bit of separation, but North Shore United not going down without a fight. And a nice finish there, sees them pick up another goal and they go into double figures.
It's a pretty big score already, 16 goals to the Panthers with still 3 minutes left to play. So bit of a scoring powerhouse, but we finally see the turnover from North Shore that they've been working so hard for. So they'll be really wanting to capitalise on this one.
Work their way inside the circle, but again, Panthers defence getting close there.
Bit of a hot potato at the moment. No one can quite stick the pass.
Gomboso, and she makes no mistake. So a couple of goals in succession now for United. Wouldn't say the momentum's been wrestled back just yet, but they've been able to consolidate and they retain possession here. So if they get another goal here, it makes things a little bit more interesting.
Absolutely, a 4-goal margin's definitely not quite so daunting, and they do bring it back. So they'll be feeling a lot more confident now and hopefully want to pick off a couple more.
It was 16-9 at one stage, so North Shore have been able to get 3 goals consecutively here.
So the Panthers really need to score. Oh, that vision again, that is beautiful.
And really nice finish. It was Mentis, the wing attack, with a really good pass to Di Bartolo, who has combined really well with Mukunde.
Her vision into the circle has been beautiful so far.
North Shore looking to take a leaf out of the Panthers book and go for those long passes. They've now reverted back to their short passes, and here's more. Bounces off the rim, and it's regathered once more by the Panthers, who again go down the court.
Transition, it's been really effective for them so far. That strong drive out defence gets the ball into the goal third pretty quickly. No.
Mentis is there once more. It's been deflected away by North Shore, so possession retained, but better defence that time.
Absolutely. I think a key for the North Shore is getting the hands over the pass. I think as soon as they have that vision into the goalies, and Taylor Fraser manages to pick it up. So there you see it, the defensive pressure from North Shore again, really picking up in these last few minutes. Yeah,
they've seemed to just kind of become a little bit more composed at the back end of this quarter.
Absolutely. I think they're finding their connections, and a few of those calls that didn't go their way early on, I think now the ball's starting to end up in their hands, so they just need to make sure that they can score off of it and head into this quarter break.
Taylor Fraser getting involved quite well, the centre as well.
Yeah,
as she gets an assist there.
Definitely finding her rhythm, got the turnover and the assist. So some good stats if you had net points for Premier League. I think Taylor will be going all right now with those couple.
Panthers possession back, go forward to
another
Mentis.
Beautiful speed there from from Mentis, and good speed as well. So a very handy wing attack.
Makunde finishes once more, so the Panthers 18 goals in this first quarter, and have an opportunity to add at least one more here with still 45 seconds left in the quarter.
Bit of miscommunication there between Fraser and I think it's Fraser as well that's in, oh no, who's the wing, Chu, sorry, is wing attack. So I think a new combination I see here that Jordan Chu is actually a replacement player, so maybe hasn't had so much time working with the other girls, so just need to continue to work on their connection. She's wearing Taylor Fraser's dress though, which is a little bit confusing, so I thought there might have been two Frasers, but nope, just the one out there tonight.
So the Panthers get one more goal. There's still just under 20 seconds. Makunde could easily finish here and almost just wrestles that momentum back and got it back to 4 goals, Maddie. It's now back out to 7, and there's probably not going to be enough time for...
Long bomb right in. I think they need to go to Gomba. Oh, and a beautiful feed. And they finish it off, so they maybe should have been doing that a little bit earlier, I think.
Score with 2 seconds left in the first quarter, and at the end of the first quarter, round 6 of the New South Wales Premier League of netball between North Shore United and the Panthers. It's been all the Panthers in this first quarter. They lead by 20 goals to 14, particularly led by the goal attack, Danielle Di Bartolo, and also their goal shooter, Nalani Makunde. Really good performance as well by the wing attack in Marissa Mentis as well. What's the talk going to be for this North Shore United side? They obviously pegged it back to 4 goals. A couple of goals at the back end of that quarter got the Panthers back ahead. 6-goal margin. Are you panicking at this stage?
No, I don't think so. I think we see it at the top level, and we probably see it at this level as well, that 6 goals, that's 3 turnovers, and scoring off centre pass and then scoring off your turnovers, it can change pretty quickly. But I think a few of their mistakes have just been sort of uncharacteristic, unforced errors. So being a bit more careful with the ball, maybe just a little bit of loss of focus there. It seems like their connections maybe aren't quite up to scratch. So I think, no panicking, but just going back to basics will be a focus for them, and obviously shutting down that goal shooting powerhouse that Panthers have in their goal circle. So just keep chipping away, I think they'll need to do.
Alternatively, the Panthers obviously pretty impressed. Any time you can find 20 goals in a quarter is good, but defensively you're able to create a fair few turnovers, and probably the pressure that they had on the Fury led to a lot of those turnovers. For sure.
And I think 20 goals in a quarter of netball is pretty good. It sets you up for a pretty big score if you keep to do that. But I think obviously sitting in, you said 7th position, they obviously aren't going to want to panic now and want to just keep pushing on this lead. And I think the last thing they want to do is panic if North Shore do start to peg it back, and just keep pushing on.
So a couple of the other scores from the other games that are going on. We have the Heart leading the Hawks by 17 goals to 12. The Sparks, in all sorts of drama early on, they trail the Fury by 23 goals to 7. And just trying to find out, I think it's the Stingrays leading the Sapphires. It looks like 19-0, but I don't know if my eyesight is really helping me. It's like the furthest scoreboard away.
I was going to say, I've even got my glasses on and I can't read that. But
so we'll try and confirm that for you. But at the show court here, it is the Panthers leading by 20 goals to 14. Matt, it's been great to have you on commentary. I'm sure everyone would love to see you out on the court. Do you want to give everyone a bit of an update on the injury?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm about 3.5 weeks post-op. So, going along nicely. I've lost the crutches sort of most of the time. Still, we went to State of Origin last night, actually, and had to take the crutches to sort of fend off the crowds. You never know what's going to happen at a game of rugby.
You know what those Queenslanders are like.
Exactly. So we were sitting in that section, actually, as well, so I was very glad I had them in the end. But, no, slow and steady wins the race, I think is the case in ACL rehab. So I'm in the gym sort of most days. I've still kind of come to every training with the girls and am able to get my physio and all of that. But, these days it's probably a 12-month recovery. So just sort of, as cliche as it sounds, taking it day by day and trying to get the little wins while I can. So at the moment, walking was a big step, literally and figuratively, and so still try to improve that, because I do walk with a bit of a limp still. So, just kind of trying to get all the little things right and do all the right things, and hopefully have myself back to go by next season.
That's right. They sent the invalid from the Sus out to commentate. So
exactly.
We're a little bit worried. We thought you still might be on crutches, and we looked around and saw there was nothing but stairs and no lifts or anything, and no ramps. So
no, there's always a challenge, but that's all right. So no, I've been if I can be in the gym, surely I can be on the commentary bench. So, no, that's right. We actually have a few of the Swifts girls playing. Well, actually, one of the Swifts girls playing tonight, Sophie Garben, is obviously we've got this 4-week break with the World Cup. So, Sophie is playing for, now Sutherland Stingrays, I think the team is. So, what did you say there? Do we have their score up there, or is that the one we can't quite read?
That's the one we can't correct. I can see the Stingrays are on 19, and they're taking on the Sapphires, the Manly Sapphires. But, we'll try and, maybe at halftime we have a bit of a break. Yeah. Might be able to just trundle over there and get a closer look.
Hopefully, Bucket Sophie Garben has shot on the majority of those 19. So, she's been in good form. She had a great last game against the Thunderbirds and got her opportunity to get back out on the court. So, hopefully, she's been doing pretty well in Premier League tonight. I think Amy McCulloch's playing for them tonight as well. So, a bit of a Swifts duo in there from years before. So, a bit of exciting game up there, I'm sure.
So, the Panthers start with possession, but given away pretty cheaply. So, not the start they would have wanted, and just the start North Shore United would have wanted. And they go downtown almost like in gridiron, throwing a touchdown from 30 or 40 yards. They move the ball quickly into the circle.
Oh, that's a much better play and a much better feed into Gombola. So the North Shore looking pretty good the start of this second quarter.
Nice finish there, and they reduce the margin to 5 goals, and then they get the ball back at the centre circle. So a bit more confidence being shown here by North Shore United.
You can even see the way their movements change, the way their passing has changed, a lot more definite in everything they do. I think they were pretty hesitant in that early first quarter, so good to see a bit more happening now.
Combosso, and she converts again, so back-to-back goals to start this quarter. And North Shore United reduce the margin to just the 4 goals at the moment, trailing 20 goals to 16. Panthers haven't had a whole lot of decent possession. They go forward to Makunde, but tapped away brilliantly.
Big win, I guess, especially against Makunde there. So North Shore really coming out firing this first few minutes of the second quarter.
Yeah, well, obviously, I imagine that would have been a fair chunk of the quarter time talk. Would have been about marking up there.
I did see as well, I think Beck Bully, is she the head coach?
Yeah.
So obviously a powerhouse for the Giants, and actually I played a bit of time with Beck at the Thunderbirds as well. So she played for the Swifts, so she's been everywhere, and she's one of the sort of most experienced defenders in our league. And even when I was playing with her, she was a great coach. So I'm sure she's put in some words of wisdom to her team, and they've definitely taken that on board in this second quarter.
Mentis goes forward to Di Bartolo, who holds the ball, has to go all the way back to Tavita in goal defence. Forward to Rodwell.
You can really see that hands over pressure from Fraser blocking that vision, but then as soon as there's no hands over the ball, she goes long. But again, a big win for, is it Nesbitt there in goalkeeper? I think that's right, yeah. Getting a few wins early.
Yeah, Emily Nesbitt's come up with a couple of really big plays there for this North Shore United side, who all of a sudden have their tails up and playing some really good netball. Nice.
All alone.
Pass through there, but it's a pretty poor finish in the end, it must be said, by Sabina Gombosso.
And we've got, that was, I think, Chu again coming out for Wilson, coming out for a fly. Been really impressed with Wilson so far. She's having a go at everything, and early on probably wasn't rewarded for some of the work she was doing, but I think her pressure out the front is definitely helping them get those tips in that goal circle.
Kunde just settles things for the Panthers. 21 goals to 16 they lead, but you just kind of feel there's a lot more gusto and a lot more energy in these first couple of minutes of this second quarter.
Absolutely. Even just the voice out on court, I think you can hear that the energy's lifted, so that must have been something that North Shore spoke about in their break as well, and they finished it off this time nicely. So still a 4-goal lead to the Panthers, but I think North Shore are the team that look probably more on fire this quarter, so we'll see if the Panthers can finish off this passage of play.
We just saw Mentis just murmur to the bench, so I think she might be carrying an injury, and looks like she's going to be taken off. There's already a Panthers player that is warming up in the bench just to the left of our commentary position, so that would be a blow because she's combined well with that kind of front three as the Panthers score another goal. Yeah,
she was a bit of the playmaker in that first quarter, her vision into the shooters, so hopefully whoever her replacement will be or could be will be able to do the same. So
Charlotte Lowry and Madison Mann were the 2 players put on the team sheet as the replacement players, and penalty goes against the Panthers there for holding the ball longer than 3 seconds.
So again, that pressure from North Shore really building in this second quarter.
Got it back within 4 goals, so all of a sudden they are creeping up on this Panthers side, which has had a habit of maybe not switching off in games, but good turnover here by the Panthers.
It's a hard one. Rodwell's quite tall for a centre, so she's got big hands over, and that's a beautiful feed. And Makunde finishes it off. So that could have just been a little bit of momentum shift that puts it back in the Panthers' hands. So North Shore really going to want to finish it off here.
North Shore have the ball back through Fraser.
Just a bit hesitant to look into the shooter. She looked like she was free there, but obviously paying a lot of credit to the Panthers defenders who have been doing well all night. We see another touch coming out.
Well, there's a big height advantage for the Panthers, isn't there, in 3 or 4 different positions,
Absolutely,
which is a massive advantage.
No, that is a big thing, you know, especially in any level of netball. Having that height advantage is really a key. So I think, again, that's where that pressure has to come early from either team to stop those feeds into the tall shooters at either end. Oh, and a beautiful intercept there. We saw Makunde come out of the circle, which we haven't probably seen as much in the earlier stages of this game. She's definitely more comfortable in the goal circle, but Nesbitt, and we see
big collision.
It's back and forth. If one keeper can do it, the other one can do it too, but doesn't quite come off with it.
Yeah, trying to create some space on this North Shore side.
We see the contact here, and this should be finished off. So again, the score back to 3 with North Shore with the centre pass. So this could, and the change that we anticipated is coming.
So Berry is going to be the player to come on.
Brittany Berry. So she, again, talking about height, very tall for a wing attack. So this, you know, could end up playing to the Panthers' advantage.
Caused just a little bit of a reshuffle, though, for this Panthers side. So she'd been doing a really good job. Had Marissa Mentis in that wing attack position, doing a lot of assistance to the front two there of Di Bartolo and also Makunde, but cheaply given away that time,
just
North
too
Shore.
much on that pass. So again, just North Shore probably not treasuring possession when they need to. That's something that, you know, especially at the Swifts this year, we've really focused on, is when you get that turnover, making sure you score off of it, because that's the way that you can really bury teams and make it difficult for them to come back. So North Shore will be pretty disappointed with throwing that one away, and will really be wanting to get it back again.
So push forward,
Beautiful
knocked away.
touch.
So some good defensive play here by North Shore.
Yeah,
They've been
Nesbitt again. She's coming out very high from goalkeeper. A bit of a positional swap she's playing with her goal defence.
Well, it's almost forced the Panthers to throw that long ball over the top, and almost on every occasion, apart from 1 or 2, Makunde's been off balance, so very, very difficult to reel those
couldn't quite
those
pull
balls
that one in. Oh, but a very good touch there, and unfortunately coming off the hands of Chu there. So that's exactly what we've talked about with, you know, as soon as North Shore getting that turnover, it going straight back into the Panthers' hands. So
here's Rodwell.
I'm really loving the battle between Rodwell and Taylor Fraser, both very strong athletes and having a physical battle as well as, you know, that tussle on the court. So I think that will be a good one to watch unfold.
Yeah, big engines as well when you have to play in that centre position, isn't it?
Oh, and that pinpoint feed from Berry, so definitely hasn't missed a beat since coming on. She split the defenders and went straight through the middle, a bit of splitting the defenders there.
Kunde finishes off and adds another goal to her tally, 24 goals to 20. Panthers lead North Shore United. So they're fighting to keep hold of this momentum. Rodwell swings it back almost like Blake Ferguson to James Tedesco last night in State of Origin. It was a well-directed pass and goes forward to Makunde, who flicks it back to Di Bartolo, who goes from downtown.
Long shot, wow, that's a beautiful shot. We're playing fast 5, that'd be worth 2 points. So that was beautiful shooting there. She got the crumbs and then was able to finish it off as well. So Di Bartolo playing well.
25 goals to 20. North Shore have just had the rug almost just read from under them in these last 2 or 3 minutes and conceded a couple of goals and given away possession. There's Chu going forward.
That's a better hold there.
To Gomboso, who is able to find the net, and another goal added here for North Shore. So they just stay within touching distance of this Panthers side, down 25 goals to 21. Round 6 of the New South Wales Premier League. And it is Indigenous round as well to celebrate NAIDOC Week in Australia. And we'll have some interviews at full time of this game. Of course, the under-23s to come after this as well between both these two sides. The younger counterparts, North Shore United 1-4 in 6th against the 0-5 Panthers in 7th. So that is a really important game in the scheme of the season for both those two sides.
You see Rodwell go to the ground again, that tussle between her and Fraser, literally knocking her to the ground. So really good battle going on between those two. couldn't probably call who's quite on top at the moment, but the Panthers still do look up. Oh, and another fall. God. And Fraser involved again, so definitely wanting to get physical. She's a very physical player with using her strength often to her advantage, so she's wanting to get in there and hopefully get the ball back for her team, but unfortunately goes the other way.
You wouldn't say these two sides don't like each other or spiteful or anything, but there certainly has been a lot of physical challenges in these first 25 minutes of action.
Absolutely. Definitely some very strong and physically built bodies out there on the court, so it's always going to be that physical battle, and definitely hasn't disappointed so far.
So Gomboso pulls another goal back for United.
Good take there.
At the moment, it has been tit for tat in terms of goal for goal, end-to-end stuff at the moment. 5 minutes left in this second quarter. Panthers up by 27 goals to 23. They go to Di Bartolo again from well out. This one's plucked out of the sky, but this one...
Good against her. We saw Mukundai again sort of coming a bit further away from the post than she had been in that first quarter. So good job by the North Shore defenders to kind of get her away from there, and the pressure's up early that's making her sort of have to come out as that option, which is, I would have thought that might have been a little bit close, but works to the Panthers' advantage. And, Nesbitt brings it back for a team, but gets the call as well. So that's a good save from their centre pass.
How impressive has this United defence been in this second quarter? They've only conceded the 8 goals.
Very, very good compared to that first quarter. It's a real big turnaround. It's sort of like it's a different defensive end this quarter to what it was in the first. But again, just need to make sure they can try and capitalise. They're definitely being held up through this middle quarter, but they've, again, goes the Panthers' way. So I'd love to know the stats on their conversion from turnovers, because I don't think it would be too flush, unfortunately, for North Shore. But credit to, I guess, the Panthers with their transition defence being really hot and not letting them get that free lead straight away. And we see a great drive down the court from Russell.
Would it be this stage of a game where fatigue will start to be creeping into some of these girls, considering what a physical game it's been and how much running there's been end to end?
Yeah, I think so. I often find the second quarter is probably one of the hardest quarters to play. I find that, after half time you sometimes get that second wind, and obviously the first quarter is always tough. That's going to be tough. But yeah, the second half of this second quarter is probably when that little bit of fatigue comes. So with that probably comes that lapse in concentration as well. So you can probably see that, but not from Di Bartolo, as she threads the needle and finds Mukundai right under the post. So they've been a lethal combination so far.
Some of the Panthers under-23s players watching on as they get ready for an important clash later tonight, 8:40 p.m. The tip-off will be for that game. North Shore United now trying to find a little bit of space inside this final attacking third to try and pull a goal back. They've been better in their second quarter, but can't finish there was Gomboso, but looks like she will get the ball back and it will be take two, and she makes no mistake to get them within 6, 2.5 left second quarter. Yeah,
North Shore definitely going to want to plug a few back here. They really started the quarter strong, but have let the Panthers get out to another big lead. So these next 2.5 minutes are really crucial for them. But Mukundai is going to say no to North Shore and stop that from happening because she slots another one through. I'd love to know how many she's put through already.
Yeah, she's been the focal point of attack for this Panthers side. Looking for their second win of the 2019 Premier League season.
Oh, and the goalkeeper again coming out for a fly. So loving what she's doing out there. Willing to leave her goal shooter and have a hunt. But it does surprise me, obviously, from only seeing this one game from the Panthers this season. You wouldn't have thought that they were a team sitting in 7th. They definitely are playing with a lot of confidence and really coming together as a team. So hopefully for their sake, they can continue to do that for the rest of the game.
Inside the final 2 minutes here, Berry pushes the ball forward. Almost a turnover. Tavita manages to win it back. Goes to Rodwell, back to Tavita. And they'll retain possession here, the Panthers. Looking to build on this 6-goal lead they have at the moment. Mukundai.
So Rodwell again, always just looking over the mess and finding Mukundai onto the post. But I think his last few minutes, again, I think North Shore just got a bit slack with their hands over pressure, giving Rodwell that easy look into the shooters.
Yeah, well, with the help of Rodwell, Mukundai's been able to find a little bit more room as well. So her shooting has become far easier in the last 2 or 3 minutes than it was perhaps earlier in the quarter. Here is their goal shooter, Gomboso, and she makes no mistake. So they're matching the output by the Panthers. They're somehow able to stop them defensively, and it's probably due to that engine room of Rodwell and also Berry in the centre and wing attack, respectively. Mukundai.
DeBolo, sorry, it's DeBolo, isn't it?
Di Bartolo.
Di Bartolo. I'm mixing, I think, two people's names together. But she seems to just be a very, cool head and seems to have a lot of experience under her belt, willing to wait for that pass and, seems to be kind of that driving force in that attack end for that Panthers team.
Nice interchanges of passing there, but a nice turnover. Tavita gets it, but this one will be coming back.
Really going to want to finish this one off. And she does. The Dunny flusher, we call it. Don't know if that's appropriate for commentary, but
no,
anyway.
That's fine. Nice finish there by North Shore United. They've got about 25 seconds. Can they snatch another goal? Nice interception there by Rodwell, though. North Shore will get the ball back.
So this is a really important goal because going into the next quarter, hopefully only having a 4-goal deficit will be a much nicer approach for North Shore than 5 goals with Panthers centre pass, which they do well. So they're going to have to try and force the Panthers to take this centre pass, but only 2 seconds on the clock. Oh, I reckon that might be 3, yes. And the umpire's called it a 3-second rule, so that means that next quarter North Shore will start with a centre pass. So that's pretty upsetting for Panthers and could be, a big call in the context of this game. So see how the rest unfolds.
Well, a real change as well to get the lead back to 4 goals. They'll get possession to start the second half. What has it been in this second quarter that's got this North Shore United side back in the contest, do you think?
Well, I think just their intensity in that first sort of couple of minutes of that second quarter was really lifted from that first quarter. I think their defensive combinations started to gel a bit more and got a bit more ball back for them. But again, I just think in that middle part, their turnovers were really costly, particularly on transition. I think, they didn't do too badly scoring off their centre passes, but when they did go those turnovers, just weren't able to capitalise. So I guess credit to the Panthers. They put that pressure on really early to, stop North Shore from being able to get those goals. But, yeah, I think that's what's going to be spoken about in the North Shore camp is just, when they do get those turnovers, which they are getting, making sure they can get them to a shot at least.
So some of the other scores that are going on, it is the Stingrays 40 leading the Sapphires 20 at half-time, obviously. The Fury 36 lead the Sparks 22, so a nice little fight back by the Sparks in that second quarter, and the Heart 31 leading the Hawks 29. So we've got roughly 10 minutes until the action starts in the third quarter, so we're going to take a short break here on the Bar TV live stream. We bring you all the action for the third quarter in 10 minutes' time. Please do join us then. And here we are back for the start of the third quarter. The Panthers leading North Shore United 32 goals to 28 in this Opens competition, round 6 of the New South Wales Premier League Indigenous round as well. And Matty Proud, the New South Wales Swifts captain, is alongside me in commentary. And, well, if it goes as good as the first 2 quarters are gone, this is could be match of the season type stuff. How are you seeing this third quarter panning out?
Yeah, I think this is going to be, as they call it, the premiership quarter. This is when I think we'll really see which team's willing to step up. It's probably been all Panthers so far, but North Shore have shown patches of brilliance, kind of like they're showing now, but just as we said, haven't been able to capitalise with some unforced errors. So if they can get rid of some of these silly things that they're doing, I reckon that they might be able to take out the game. But Panthers seem to be doing all the right things for now.
They try and hold up Gomboso there, but they can't stop her, and she scores within the first 30 seconds of this second half, and the margin reduced back to 3 goals now. So was out to as high as 7 at one stage in that second quarter.
Yeah, it's definitely been sort of a game of momentum shifts. It was all Panthers at the start, and then I really thought that North Shore might have taken it away that second quarter, but sort of just lost it at the end. But again, this has been very characteristic of tonight's game. That long feed into Mukundai has been very, very hard to beat.
Yeah, she's been pretty much flawless up front for that Panthers side so far this evening.
I'd love to know her height, actually. That would be maybe we'll try and get that going into the last quarter. We'll ask the Panthers bench because, yeah, from where I'm sitting, she looks very tall and a very handy goal shooter under the post.
They break away with a bit of a counter-attack there as they go out wide here to Berry. Berry almost close to holding that longer than 3 seconds. They go out wide to the goal defence into Vita. And Rodwell, who's had a nice little battle with Wilson in that centre position. That's going to be something to watch in this quarter.
Yeah, we've seen a change to the North Shore team with Taylor Fraser going to the bench and then Wilson moving into centre. And we have a new wing defence on the court. She doesn't have a name on her back, so I'm thinking she must be one of their replacement players. So possibly Jamison or Borkman. Maybe we can find that one out too. So I think Taylor Fraser on a bit of a load management plan, being with the Swifts, and we've got a training session tomorrow morning, so don't think she probably was able to play a full game today, but we'll see how this North Shore team goes without her.
And finished well there by this North Shore side. Emily Moore getting her name on the score sheet. Back to a 3-goal margin, so end-to-end stuff by both these two sides. Here's Mukunde, again that long reach.
She seems to be able to do it all. That was a front hold. She can do the back hold. So I do feel a bit sorry for Nesbitt. She changes it up and defends from behind, and then she just holds in front. So maybe a bit more mobile they need to be in that goal circle, or even getting the goal defence to drop back to help her out to cover that easy feed into the shooter. But again, we see Panthers get another turnover. So that's, I think, 3 in a row that North Shore haven't seemed to be able to take to a shot.
Nice quick ball movement as well. That transition again impressive. Mukunde with great hands, fending off the goalkeeper there for North Shore and being able to finish with a goal. Yeah. So good performance here by the Panthers.
Absolutely.
Lead out to 35 goals to 30.
They do just look like they're playing with so much confidence and so much composure. I will say it again, I've been very impressed with their vision. It's a commentator's curse.
I know, yep, that is right.
As soon as I start talking them up, they make, probably one of the only errors they've made this game, and definitely this quarter. So this will be another test to see whether North Shore can finish it off.
A nice little tussle there between Tavita and Gomboso. A few forearms were flailing around.
I think it went both ways. Gomboso ends up with the ball and ends up with the shot through the ring as well.
So back to 4 goals, 35 goals to 31.
Oh, the goal shooter was all alone, but didn't quite have the vision to see her there. So the Panthers goalkeeper, as we said earlier, was out hunting, but maybe North Shore just need to be a bit more aware of that and even go straight into the goal shooter. But a beautiful hold there from Gomboso. Doesn't want to go to shot, but over the top. Nice screen set up there to get the ball easily in, and this will bring it back to 3 goals. So the closest margin we've had so far, as with the earlier in the game.
Yeah, they've done well to fight themselves in there, and a bit of a falcon there for Berry on the far side as the ball just rebounded off the back of the head.
We all know how those feel. A falcon is always one of the favourite features of a netball game, and I'm glad we got one in today.
And Mukunde converts to make it 36 goals to 32. 5 minutes gone in this third quarter, still 10 minutes remaining.
She's very unassuming, Mukunde. Doesn't show too much emotion. It's
no,
very
she doesn't.
Cool, calm and collected, which you always want in a goal shooter. So you definitely want her on your side, and she's definitely paying dividends tonight.
Fantastic performance it has been, and well, if the last quarter was more of a defensive quarter where we saw some really good defensive plays, it just seems to be both sides not giving up possession, at least in these last couple of minutes.
No.
Lots of goals as well.
Absolutely. It's quite a high-scoring game, really, particularly looking around at some of the other... Oh, mind you, yeah, they've all been pretty decent. So, as Nesbitt gets away with a rare win. So that's what she needs to do, come out hunting a bit more. She's probably not going to get too many over Kamunde on the one-on-one, but if she can have a go outside of the circle like she just did then, I think she's going to get a bit of ball back for North Shore.
Yeah, nice transition there, and they get a really good goal. That was really well worked by North Shore, because we've seen them do that a couple of times today, Maddie, and they've kind of coughed up possession when they've got into around about that kind of half court length and into the attacking areas.
I really liked the ball speed that they used then. I think sometimes they hang on to the ball a little bit too long, but those quick passes kept the defenders moving and really opened up the goal shooter under the post. But a miss, which is going to end up in a bit of a tussle, but it goes the Panthers' way, so that's a big win for the Panthers.
Yeah, good body strength shown by Tavita there. And though she did get knocked to the ground, she managed to win possession for her side. And
but again, we see Wilson overfly, so her defensive pressure is really going to bring a lot into this North Shore team. She was playing in wing defence before and now in centre, so obviously a really strong defensive background. She'll be wanting to get a bit of ball back for her teams, particularly as it gets closer.
Lots of energy now from this North Shore United side as they try and crowd around any lady with a black and grey jumper.
Oh, that was unlucky. Sorry, who's the goal? It was Moore with the big hands over, but couldn't quite come away with it.
Yeah, lots of defensive pressure. It's a lot of pressing here from this North Shore United defence, but some good interchanging of passing. They go forward to Mukunde and again just reaches, even though it wasn't a great pass, plucked it in, and it's a great goal.
Yep, she manages anything that's in the air and in her vicinity, it's all her. She's a bit like a Venus flytrap, pulling everything in.
Di Bartolo looking for Rodwell, has to go all the way back there to Barry.
A bit more clustered here in this build-up. North Shore putting on a lot of defensive pressure. And again, Mukunda having to come out. So not where she would like to be, I don't think. She's much more comfortable under the post, but she finds her way back there, but doesn't want the long shot. So, unlucky. So I think that's a contact outside the circle. Otherwise, a little fumble from Di Bartolo.
She likes those shots from
loves
downtown, doesn't she?
I do love her confidence, but unfortunately that one doesn't pay off. But I think that's, the true... we're having a flyer. I was going to say, the sign of a good shooter is when they can keep going for those long shots, even though she might have had one miss. So I hope she doesn't stray away from those now that she's had an uncharacteristic miss. But a nice sweeping move from Moore there, and the double shuffle shot to get her nice and close under the post. So I'm liking her movement. I think that's going to be key for North Shore. If Moore can get a bit more on the move and keep Gomboso, the defenders around her a bit more busy, then she's going to open up a lot more. So that speed and that sweeping move is definitely working.
Because previously it's kind of been Gomboso against 2 or 3 defenders.
It's the Gomboso show, so no, I think Moore hopefully getting a bit more involved, so you're not hanging out too far, which she's done there to open up Gomboso, and she's finished it off. So, yeah, that combination really started to gel for North Shore as they bring it back to only 1 goal now. So, important goal for the Panthers now. Yeah,
she's been really impressive, as have North Shore United. This has been their quarter. They go forward to Mukunde, who does well to control her balance and plucks the ball out of the sky and gets a goal, which just holds the Panthers firm, just consolidates.
Definitely, yeah, this game's kind of been taken to another level in these last few minutes. You can just feel the intensity lifting, even the voices from each bench is really lifted. So both teams obviously very eager to get the win tonight.
A few more people are coming into the crowd as well.
Absolutely.
With that under-23 game later.
I think they might have heard that I was commentating.
I reckon I've drawn
the crowds. Maybe we should just get a microphone for the whole crowd, not just those listening at home.
Here you go, the Panthers move forward, down court by Berry, out to Di Bartolo. She can't shoot from there. Although for a moment I thought she might have.
Yeah, you never know.
Rodwell back to Mukunde, who's a little bit further out than she normally is.
Shot for her, but obviously not quite as comfortable from that distance, so a really good rebound from Nesbitt, and this is where we're going to try and see what North Shore can do. So not much on offer. She's forced to go backwards and work it again, so you can see the Panthers really putting on a lot of pressure, but it ends up in the hands of Gomboso, and she can't quite finish off either, so it's a curse of the shooters down either end. But and
my
again,
goodness.
oh,
She'll get a third chance.
she needs to try and miss, and then it might go in, I think, this time.
Well, can she tie the scores up? She can. She got 3 bites at the cherry, eventually made one count.
So here we go. It's even. Can North Shore take the... I think this will be the lead for the first time this game, I reckon. I don't think they've been in front yet. So we've definitely seen a big momentum shift in these last few minutes.
38 goals all, 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Out wide they go there to Wilson, back to Moore, back to...
She's loving that shuffle shot more, and
I'm never going to bother trying to run the names through there. And it is another goal to North Shore United, lead for the first time tonight. 39 goals, play 38, and they look a bit shell-shocked, the Panthers, at the moment.
They just need to keep their composure, I think, just keep doing what's been working for them all night. But we see Di Bartolo go for a long shot, and it doesn't want to make its way home. So, you know, when it gets this close, you think it might be worth just working it a little bit closer to the post. But things seem to have been opening up a little bit nicer for North Shore here. A nice drive there from Chu. She's been impressive early this quarter.
Back to Moore.
Oh, and a nice hold there from Gomboso, a great feed from Wilson. So I'm liking what I'm seeing a bit more from this North Shore team now. I think they've found a bit of confidence and are really running with it.
Yeah, they've burst out of the blocks these last 5 or so minutes. They were trailing by 7 goals at one stage in that second quarter. Now lead by 2 goals. Panthers get a turnover, though.
That's a very critical turnover there for Bradley. She's been working hard all night to get those, and now it's just whether her Panthers teammates can finish it off for her. A patient build-up. Definitely not going quite as long as they were in those early moments of the game.
No, they're certainly not.
But
they go
again,
long there.
Commentators curse. They do exactly what I said. So great feed there from Di Bartolo. I love how, you know, despite the tightness of the game, she's still not afraid to go for that long bomb. So something that's definitely a key element of her game, I'm sure.
Attacking opportunity here for the Panthers to tie the scores up once more. Go forward to Di Bartolo. Some way out. Goes to Makunde, who... It was a weak shot. She was lucky to get the rebound there and then converts a second time.
Yeah, very
40
lucky,
goals all,
so.
2:45 left in this third quarter.
I mean, that might have been why the crowds have come. We do have a 40-all game on our hands, so pretty good stuff happening down here on the show court.
Well, the other games, Hart 50 lead the Hawks 39, Fury 49 lead the Sparks 35, and the Stingrays 50 lead the Sapphires 32. So this is the only game that really is, as it looks like it might go down to the wire as a close game.
Absolutely. So we're very lucky to be in the front row seats of this
Quite
thriller
literally.
that's unfolding in front of us.
Buried to Di Bartolo.
This time goes for the fake shot and instead dishes it off to Makunde right where she wants to be. So Panthers probably have found a little bit more confidence in these last few minutes, but it's still going goal for goal. So it's going to be a matter of who can get this turnover. Otherwise, we might be going into the last quarter with a tied game.
It's ebbing and flowing this game. United 41, Panthers 41. And Gomboso with an opportunity to put her side back in front. She can't. She gets the rebound and converts on that second time,
Some
which we've seen
maybe on show.
quite a fair bit from these goal shooters in the last few minutes.
So it's, luckily they're able to get their rebounds as well. So if you ask Sophie Garben, she says that it doesn't count as a miss if you get your own rebound. So hopefully
sounds like something a goal shooter would say.
Exactly. Whereas a centre would say, just get it in the ring the first time. Oh, great pressure there. So this new wing defence that's come on for North Shore, causing all kind of havoc down there. She goes for everything. I'm really liking her kind of grit and determination to go for whatever she can get her hands on. But the look away pass from Di Bartolo and the contact there from Nesbitt.
Makunde.
A few nerves must be going through. She's kind of had a few missed shots in these last few minutes. So
she has, hasn't she? But she manages to get one to stick there. 42 goals all inside the final minute of this third quarter. So we could very well have a tied score at the third and final change.
Oh, flying down is Wilson. She's very fast off the mark. And again, Moore loving that shuffle shot. So I think the Panthers defenders are going to have to probably look for that in that final quarter, knowing that Moore probably isn't going to go for the shot out that far, but to watch to maybe pick off some of those shuffle shots.
Here they go through Rodwell. Down on that far side to Berry.
Oh, and a good hand there from Moore. She's
a little bit lucky to get the ball back, weren't they, the
long
Panthers
arms.
there. Long ball down court there to Makunde. And Makunde again gets a shot blocked.
Ooh,
loses possession. That is a big
rejection.
play.
Not up in here from Nesbitt. She'll be loving that one. Any defender that can get a reject. Oh, and the vision.
With 1 second to go,
Wow.
and they get the goal. That is a
play
big,
of the
big
day,
play.
I reckon. That's great vision from Moore there. The flat and hard pass in the hands of Gomboso as well. So 44-42. So big quarter there from United. Can see the energy just a little bit deflated here from the Panthers as they come off for their final break. But I think we like to say we've got a game on our hands.
We do, yeah. North Shore United 44 goals lead the Panthers 42. The Panthers led 30 goals to 24 at that halftime break. So we're only able to add 12 goals in that quarter. Meanwhile, United were really rocketed along, and they get 20 goals in that third quarter and lead by 44 goals to 42. So the final adjustments being made by the coaching staffs of both sides, knowing that this is where they earn their money to see if they can get their side over the line. And it's going to be huge considering the great comeback that we've seen from North Shore United, who wouldn't say look dead and buried, but they were down by 7 goals, and this is an impressive comeback.
Yeah, I must admit I thought the Panthers kind of looked like they could do no wrong in that first half, but credit to North Shore, they came out firing, and I think the Panthers probably being in, for this game anyway, unfamiliar territory, trailing. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond at this final break, but they've looked good all day, so hopefully for the Panthers' sake they can just stick to what they've been doing and keep pushing on despite the score. And then I guess for North Shore, they've managed to come back from here, so they were going to want to keep that lead that took them so long to get back.
Probably a bit of deja vu for the Panthers as well, because they had a really good second quarter last week against Central Coast, and wouldn't say they bottled it, but just kind of got overrun in the back end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. So maybe a few memories coming back for them and things they could learn from that performance. Meanwhile, in the other games that are going on, we have the Heart 51 leading the Hawks 41 as they're about to start the fourth quarter. The Sparks have fought back well, but take a big effort to beat the Fury. They trail 52 goals to 41, and it's a big lead for the Sutherland Stingrays. They lead the Manly Sapphires by 51 goals to 35. So a comfortable lead there for the Sutherland Shire team. And here it is.
Sophie Garvin may be playing a bit of a role in that, I hope, for her sake anyway. So be an interesting game up there, I'm sure.
44 goals, plays 42 here. A nice little crowd that has trickled in throughout the second and third quarter as well, with this under-23s game that is going to be taking place at 8:40 after the completion of this game.
Very impressed they've all come. 8:40, that's well past my bedtime.
Exactly.
So these under-23s, surely, I guess some of them might still be at school, but it's school holidays anyway, so we see a few more kids in the crowd, probably excited to be staying up past bedtime for once. So very good to see a good crowd come out.
And we'll have Maddie doing some interviews at the completion of this with this quarter with a couple of people involved in the Indigenous round. It is an Indigenous round in round 6 of the New South Wales Netball Premier League. So make sure you stick around for that. Should be really, really interesting stuff to find out the designs of the bibs, because all of the girls playing for all the different teams have the same design. It just looks different because of the different colour schemes of the different jerseys. But it will be great to find out some information about that and what Indigenous round means to a lot of these girls, and what an honour it must be
We've got
for them to play for it.
Tasha Hawley, who's from the Central Coast Heart. She's the one that actually designed the bib, so I'm sure she's probably playing now, but she's one of the ones that I'll be interviewing after this game, so it'll be really interesting to see. I guess it's a pretty big honour for her to have that bib that she's designed plastered across all of the dresses, so I'm sure it's a pretty proud day for her, and hopefully, did we say that Central Coast were winning? No, they're up by 10 goals. So, hopefully she's playing a big role in that.
Could be a very nice evening for her. So we still have that under-23s game to kick off at 8:40 between the Panthers and North Shore United, but still 15 minutes worth of blockbuster netball action here. United leading the Panthers by 44 goals to 42. Question is, can they hold on, or will we see a flurry of goals from the Panthers to get themselves back in the game? Doesn't look like there's been any changes by the Panthers, so they're looking to back the women currently on the court to get them home here, but it is North Shore United starting with possession.
I'm really loving why they choose finding the top of that circle there. That's prime real estate when you're a mid-quarter. You can have all the vision of the shooters in the circle, so really good work by her to find herself there on multiple occasions this game.
Gomboso finds another goal for the North Shore side, and they go out by 3 goals. And
Wilson on the fly again. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I've loved her having a go at everything tonight. So really exciting player there with a big defensive background.
Looked like she was spiking a volleyball or something along there. Had to take cover in the stands over there.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's one of those multi-sport athletes. She looks like she is very athletic, so wouldn't be surprised if she's maybe hit a few volleyballs in her day, or maybe any other sports. And a beautiful take, but also a very uncharacteristic error there. Sort of went for the long pass, but threw it straight into the hands of the North Shore defenders.
They work their way forward. Moving down that left-hand channel, they look very confident to the North Shore side, creating opportunities. Wilson goes across there to Gomboso. Is a little bit far out, but she's going to take the shot. Yes, she nails it. That
little step into us, but a big step in when you're that height gets you a little bit closer to the ring, and she definitely finished it off well.
And United have added 2 more goals to their advantage, and they haven't let the Panthers score as of yet. And big turnover there. Rodwell leaping high the centre and taking that, and almost losing possession, but they do retain it. I'm sure there was some heart palpitations on the Panthers substitute bench just to the left of us, but they need to try and start stringing some goals together, the Panthers, because they're down by 4. If they'd conceded another one there, it would have been real danger signs. Here is Di Bartolo. It's an awkward looking pass there for Makunde, and Makunde with the shot converts. Really good shot.
A little bit further out for her, but obviously still confident and finishes that one off. So another critical centre pass to the Panthers to get it back to a 2-goal ball game.
Rodwell goes to DeVita, who's been getting more involved in the attacking raids, the goal defence. Almost turned over there. North Shore defensively, arms and forearms being construed everywhere at the moment.
And we've got a Panthers throw-in, so we'll see what the North Shore defenders can pull off here. A bit of tussle going on under the post between Nesbitt and Makunde, but Nesbitt ends up with it, so some great work from her, putting the body pressure on early. And now North Shore transition down the court. This is where they've probably found a bit of trouble tonight, so again, wanting to capitalise.
Good passage of passing here from the North Shore side. Been able to create a little bit of space, and they retain possession here as Tavita and Moore have quite a nice little battle going on down there in the court.
Absolutely.
And it's
no
a great
love
finish
lost between those two, I don't think, but as we always do in netball, I'm sure we'll shake hands and be very nice to each other once the game's over. But definitely, once that whistle blows, there's a bit of white line fever from everyone involved.
So Gomboso gets them out by 4. She could extend the lead to 5, and she does. So trouble brewing here for the Panthers. They've been blown away. They've been outscored 4-1 at the start of this quarter, and there's 11.5 left on the clock.
This is where a tactical timeout, which we have the privilege of having at SSN level, would be very handy for the Panthers. They maybe just need to regroup, refocus, and get their game back on track. But credit to North Shore, they've been firing this whole second half.
Well, it's the kind of form from North Shore that has made you see why they are in the top 4 and why they did win those first 3 games of the season. They beat UTS 47-37, Manly 45-43, and then GWS Fury 59-49, as we see the Panthers pull one back before they lost 2 weeks ago to the Heart 56-52. Hurrah, flying high and the top side in the competition. And to Sutherland last week, 52-48, and Sutherland having their merry way with the Sapphires over on court number 2. So you can understand why those 2 defeats have come. But the Panthers get it back within 4, and the momentum can change very quickly. Well, it does just then.
It's unforced error, but unfortunately I think that came off the foot of Wilson. So the Panthers probably get it a bit closer to home than they would have otherwise. So hopefully they can finish this off and bring that score deficit back down to 3 goals.
Lady luck on the side of the Panthers, and Makunde with a nice strike. Adds another goal to the total. 48 plays, 45. 10 minutes remaining. They'll restart with possession as well. Rodwell downfield to Di Bartolo. Further forward there to Berry.
Yeah, that's a better build-up for the Panthers. Some good options on show, and then finished off by the great feed into Makunde, and she finished it off as well. So again, 2 goals, so this is a really critical moment here for both teams. North Shore obviously wanting to score, but the touch coming from the Panthers, but almost kind of spoiled it for each other because the balls ended out on the baseline with a nice easy feed into Gombosa.
Well, that passage of play there, Matty, was reminiscent of what we saw from the Panthers in that first quarter, where they were just able to, like a hot knife through butter,
ball on a string, absolutely. So no, I think we sort of lost that for a few moments throughout this game so far. But is it too little, too late? I don't think so, because it's 3 goals, and we all know that 3 goals in a game of netball is not very much.
Tavita does really well to hold on to that. Goes to Rodwell, who is probably lucky not to get called for that. 3 seconds. Probably felt like 5 there, but the Panthers will get a chance to try and create some more inroads, and they do that through Mukunde, and she has no problems. She's got her shooting boots back on now. Panthers back within 2.
We can hear the Panthers bench getting very vocal. They're urging their team on. They know that a turnover now is critical, and it's worked to their advantage. So the Panthers really need to treasure this one to bring it back to 1 goal, and then with their centre pass, they could well and truly be back in this game.
Well,
but
a great interception there.
I need to stop talking for the Panthers' sake, because I'm really hurting them.
Well, I was just about to say, so you actually, you aren't going to curse them, I probably was.
Exactly.
Because I was saying that they, you felt the momentum had shifted a little bit, but it's end-to-end stuff now. T. Bartolo.
A bit of netball tennis going on here. It's back and forth, back and forth. So really need to steady, which unfortunately they can't do again. So you can tell maybe a few players getting a bit fatigued in these last few minutes, but this is really when you'll see who'll step up and who'll bring their team along with them.
Yeah, fatigue's certainly playing a factor now inside the final 8 minutes. And
bodies flying everywhere.
Yeah, Lauren Russell charging through there. That's a beautiful pass to Gomboso.
She saw that the goal defence was going for a hunt, and then she's gone straight back into the shooter. So great vision there from Chu.
It's the half century brought up for North Shore United. They're up by 3 goals, but this game has been end-to-end. There's been so many turnovers in this quarter as well. You just kind of feel even a 5-goal lead might not be enough if the momentum shifts. They go forward to Mukunde, and Mukunde makes no mistake once again. So the Panthers, they won't go away, nipping at the heels of North Shore United.
No, so anyone's game still from this point on, particularly since both teams have fallen victims to some unforced errors. So you know that a turnover is probably never too far away from either side. So we'll just see who can hold their nerve for the longest, and we've seen that there.
Good strength there, and she just says, no, we're not going to let you guys back in this game, and just consolidates for North Shore and gets another goal. 51 plays 48. Panthers are coming in droves as they move forward in this attacking wave. Again
another
to
beautiful
Mukunde.
hold there, coming off the body again at the right time just to receive the ball virtually unopposed.
Both sides defensively trying to make an incision or create a turnover at the moment. They're just not happening. Moore goes forward with the ball now.
You can see it in the eyes of all the players that they're just wanting to be the one that can take that turnover that really changes the momentum of this game. But North Shore saying, no thanks, Panthers, we'll take the goal.
52 goals to 49. A lot of physicality in this game as well. They go back to Russell. Here is Rodwell, and it's a long pass way over the court there to Berry, and Berry goes long, and it's really well marked there by Mukunde. Juggles the ball, but it's not a great shot. She catches the rebound, and she is able to get the goal.
The closer you are to the ring, sometimes the harder that shot is. It seems to come right back at you. So here we see a little confusion over the... Oh, not sure what that one was. Was it a break? That could be a big determining factor of this game if the Panthers can finish it off, and they do. So steady on the baseline is Mukunde, and she finishes it off as well. So not sure exactly what happened there, but now obviously it's the Panthers' ball, so this could bring it back to even.
So Mukunde finishes once more, and all of a sudden the Panthers, who were down by 5 at one stage in this final quarter, are within a goal, and Mukunde leaping high like a gazelle finishes.
Feeding again from Deep Bartoso. So, whoa, we've got a game on our hands. What happened? Do you know what happens if it's a draw? Is it just as a draw, or do we have extra time here at Premier League?
I believe it's just 1 point for each side, but we'll soon find out.
Exactly,
we're only 5 minutes away.
Exactly, you never know. We'll see. For the sake of the players, I hope there's no extra time, because as a centre, you never want to have to run too much longer than 60 minutes. And we have seen, I think, for the Panthers, it's Rodwell, I think it was, has run this whole game in centre. So for her sake, no extra time. It's
becoming a little bit strategic as well with teams scoring. If North Shore can get into this one goal lead like they have, and then next time it's tied up, hold on to possession for just a little bit longer. And
absolutely, I think that's something that, you know, these teams would have all trained for, this kind of situational training when the game is on the line and there's only a few minutes left. But unfortunately, that one comes up the way of North Shore. So again, the New Wing defence coming away with a pretty critical turnover for her team.
This could be a real turning point. I know there's only 4 minutes remaining, but if they can open up a 2-goal advantage,
it's going to be hard to get back from here for the Panthers. So the pressure, though, is really building from the Panthers. They know that this is a critical time, but beautiful feed there from Chu and the beautiful finish as well.
Clutch moment there from her. She gets the goal. 3.5 remaining, 54 goals to 52. North Shore at the moment 3.5 minutes away from their 4th win of the 2019 season, and they get possession back from the circle. And another goal here might put the game almost to bed. Here's Moore. Wilson goes back to Moore. Goes forward to Gomboso, and that's come off the North Shore United side.
Wow. So again, this could be the turning point. You know, any second that's wasted here is going to be costly. So Panthers obviously want to keep their composure, but also get that score so that they can fight back this lead. Oh, the vision there from Di Bartolo. I don't think many players at this level or at the highest level would have the guts to throw that absolute bullet into the circle, but she obviously, you know, knows what she's capable of, and it paid dividends then. So again, no fear whatsoever. She's definitely been the playmaker for this Panthers side, and she might be just the one that brings her team along. So we've got ourselves a tied ball game again.
Yeah, they've erased that 2-goal deficit. So with only 2.5 minutes remaining, here are the North Shore United side. Possession once more. Here's Rayleigh. Goes back to Rayleigh once more as she goes downtown. It was a risky pass. She got it.
Good take there from Moore. Moore's going to go that shuffle shot again to get herself a little bit closer, but she dishes off and see if they can finish. So smart play there from Moore to give that easy one under the post.
This is where a big defensive play could almost win the game for either side.
Absolutely.
Down by a goal, the Panthers, but Di Bartolo and everything almost turned over. It is
from Wilson. So that was a bit of a risky one there to step into the pass, and it paid off with the hands over from Wilson. And they're not slow to turn it over. They've gone racing down the court, and they are now going to want to finish this one off. So
they know that a 2-goal advantage inside the last 100 seconds of the game is very, very hard to pull back, and
Absolutely.
That's what they do. 56 goals to 54.
Particularly when it's their centre pass as well. So you'd almost think this would be the nail in the coffin if they can finish this one off. But as we know in netball, and we've seen in many cases, it's not over till it's over.
Yeah, well, the fact is they're soaking up time as well, Maddie. So even if they don't score the goal, they've at least chewed 15 or 20 seconds off here. Gomboso does well to juggle that from some way out. She nails it with a beautiful goal.
Very good shot there. So Panthers are going to want to work at lightning speed here to get this one back.
Yeah, I think we might need to see some of those long interchanging passes.
Yeah, but they sort of have to go back to the transverse line, and, you know, if they don't go in now, I think they're definitely going to have not enough time left. So precious seconds ticking away.
There's
but
Di
a long
Bartolo.
shot from Di Bartolo, who has been on song all night. I think I'd almost give her my player of the match. She's been that real playmaker and that steady head for the Panthers. So unfortunate for her sake and her team's sake that it might be the case of too little too late.
Yeah, I think it will be with only 30 seconds remaining, down by 2 goals. They've done a really good job of wrestling the ascendancy back, North Shore United, when they looked gone in the second quarter, down by 7 goals. And we might see the Panthers have one last chance to kind of at least get close within a goal. Rodwell probably held it for a little bit too long. Here's Di Bartolo.
12
goes
seconds.
Forward to Berry. There it is.
Oh, great take there, but I mean, you know, you never know. This could be 5 seconds left. It's
almost comes off.
Literally, had there been another 2 seconds, we would have had ourselves a drawn game. So
the Panthers come so close.
I know, you can't help but feel for the Panthers, but also credit to North Shore. I think they really showed what they're made of in that second half. And, you know, had they played like that from the first half, it probably would have been a different game. But Oh, great game that just unfolded in front of our eyes. So great job to both teams.
So full time in round 6 of this New South Wales Opens Premier League fixture. North Shore United 57 goals have hung on to defeat the Panthers 56. A really good win there for North Shore. They get their 4th win of the season and move themselves to 8 points as they look to work their way out the ladder, while the Panthers, they've been unlucky. They've had a few 1-point defeats, 1 goal defeats this season, and they slipped to 1 win and 5 defeats. So they have some soul searching to do, and they'll no doubt, when they're lying in bed tonight, probably think about moments during the match where they could have potentially won that one, but just wasn't to be. A really good comeback by North Shore United, particularly defensively, to create so many turnovers and then be able to be fruitful with those turnovers, turning them into goals.
Yeah,
So
it's a heartbreaker for the Panthers, but also a good sign for North Shore to see that they can come from behind that 7-goal deficit that they did have early in that game to come out on top. So, yeah, good quality netball, I thought, as well. As you said, that defensive pressure and the willingness of players to have a goal at the ball. We saw a lot of, pretty impressive intercepts from both teams. So credit to the Panthers and North Shore. They put in a great show.
So 57 goals to 56 it finishes here. In the other games, the Furies 65 beat the Sparks 56, and the other scores have gone off the screen, so can't say about those. And make sure you check out the New South Wales Premier League Netball website to find those out. We're going to take a short break because the Indigenous ceremony is going to begin soon, so make sure you tune in for that, as well as at 8:40 live coverage that myself and Maddie will bring you of the under-23s game between North Shore United and the Panthers.
Good evening everyone and welcome to the inaugural Netball New South Wales Premier League Indigenous Round and tonight's presentation ceremony. My name is Mike Anderson, I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Netball New South Wales and a member of the Premier League Commission. The opportunity to celebrate Indigenous Round of the Netball New South Wales Premier League during NAIDOC Week is a privilege and a tradition we hope to continue in the future of the Premier League. I'd like to invite Casey Ralph, CEO of the Kari Foundation and Netball New South Wales Reconciliation Plan Working Group member and Chairwoman of the RAP Plan to perform the acknowledgement of country.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, distinguished guests, and my fellow brothers and sisters. My name is Casey Ralph, and I'm a proud woman with connections to the Yuin and Kamilaroi nations. I have the distinct pleasure this evening of delivering the Acknowledgement of Country. Acknowledgement of Country is where we show our respect for the traditional owners of the land on which we meet. Tonight, in the precinct of Sydney Olympic Park, we gather on the lands of the Wongal people of the Eora Nation. The lands of the Wongal stretch along the southern shore of the Parramatta River between Cockle Bay and Rose Hill. I would like to pay my respects to the elders past and present. We acknowledge their living culture and the unique role that they play in the life of the region. I also extend that respect to those Aboriginal people who are with us here today. Tonight, we have come together to celebrate Netball New South Wales Premier League's Indigenous Round. This round coincides with the celebration of NAIDOC Week. NAIDOC, standing for the National Aboriginal and Islander Day of Celebration, is a dedicated week celebrating and promoting greater understanding of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and cultures. Every year there is a theme, and this year's theme is Voice, Treaty, Truth. Voice, Treaty, Truth were three elements to the reforms set out in the Uluru Statement from the Heart. The reforms within the Uluru Statement represent the unified position of First Nations Australians. I'm excited to advise that Netball New South Wales has made its own commitment to giving Indigenous Australia a voice via its development of its very first Reconciliation Action Plan. They have assembled an Aboriginal advisory group with diverse skill and expertise that will guide and support them on their journey to ensuring that Aboriginal participation, development and inclusion is at the forefront of planning. As chair of this group, I am extremely proud of Netball New South Wales' commitment to taking this journey. This round's theme is Titters Together. For those of you who don't know, Titters is a common colloquial Aboriginal word for sisters. To all the sisters playing tonight, embrace this round for what it is, a celebration of Aboriginal culture and the achievements that you have made to date. You are trailblazers who continue to pave the way for future generations. To those of you who have come out in support of this round, on behalf of the Netball New South Wales RAP Working Group, thank you. Together we can achieve great things.
Thank you, Casey. I'd now like to invite Netball New South Wales President Louise Sullivan to say a few words.
Thanks, Mark, and thank you, Casey, and good evening, everyone. It is my great pleasure to be here tonight on this very special occasion, the very first Indigenous round of Netball New South Wales Premier League. I would also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Wongal people of the Eora Nation, and extend a warm welcome to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people present with us this evening. Following on from our own fantastic Suncorp Super Netball Indigenous round, which took place last month, when our own New South Wales Swifts and Giants Netball met down the road at Kudos Bank Arena, it is with great pride that we see our own organisation follow suit this evening. Tonight is a very important step for the Netball New South Wales Premier League, the jewel of our competition crown. The Premier League is vital when it comes to bridging the gap to our national competitions and subsequently our Suncorp Netball and of course the Australian Diamonds. However, as the Premier League grows in the high performance space, it is vital that it does likewise when it comes to inclusiveness. And for Netball New South Wales, those two things go hand in hand. I'm proud of the steps that Netball New South Wales is making in this area through our Reconciliation Action Plan, of which Casey Ralph is of course our wonderful chairwoman.
I'm proud of the partnerships we've made with various like-minded organisations to promote participation in netball in our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. The New South Wales Office of Sport and the Curry Foundation have been very influential in that space. It is also fantastic to see the regional and metropolitan coaching courses fostering the next generation of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander leaders, and I'm heartened to see many Indigenous players here tonight representing their Premier League teams in their pathways towards higher honours. Our Premier League franchises are embracing the Indigenous round by donning specifically designed patches, and it gives me great pleasure to say the artwork was done by the Central Coast Heart very own Tasha Hawley. As it is a special week, a time for reflection, acknowledgement and celebration of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture all over Australia, it is very fitting that we meet here tonight. This is something Netball New South Wales is ready, willing and delighted to embrace. To that end, the theme of tonight's Indigenous round is Tidders Together. And as Casey has said, this is a word for sisters, and as we all know, netball is one of the most powerful and uplifting avenues for women and girls to showcase their strength, talent and leadership qualities. Due to the power that netball has in our shared communities all over New South Wales, it is vitally important that all Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal sisters come together to work towards reconciliation in our society. Let's all embrace Tidders Together. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a fantastic evening.
Thank you, Louise. I would now like to invite Alison Tucker-Munro, former elite netballer who has over 100 elite caps, and who's the current assistant coach at the UTS Sparks, to present the bib designer and Central Coast Heart player Tasha Hawley with a frame bib. Thank you, Alison and Tasha. I now invite the representatives from all the Premier League licensees to join us in commemorating this occasion. Thank you to everyone for being part of this ceremony and for supporting the Premier League Indigenous round. Best of luck to the under-23s teams playing the remaining round 6 tonight matches. Thank you all.
Just kidding. How'd you guys go?
We lost. It's your cue.
Hello everybody, I'm here with Tasha and Ali. Going to ask them a few questions obviously about Indigenous round here at Premier League tonight. I guess start with you, Ali. How important do you think it is for Premier League and Netball New South Wales to have this Indigenous round?
I think it's just a really great opportunity for the sport to have a bit of a conversation around the role Aboriginal people play out in community, and particularly around netball. It's such a good sport to get girls participating in, and I think for the players in the Premier League competition, it's a real opportunity to sort of acknowledge the contribution they're playing out in this high-performance space and just let them know that we see them and we celebrate them and we're here for them if they need us.
Absolutely. And then we've got Tasha here, who obviously plays for the Central Coast Hearts, sitting top of the table, as she wasn't afraid to tell me, and also has designed these bibs. So, Tasha, obviously they're on every team's bib in different colour schemes. Can you tell us a little bit about the meaning behind these bibs and obviously what it means to you to have them out there on court tonight?
Yeah, look, it's very exciting. I was a little bit nervous when I got the call, but yeah, overall, once I put my ideas together, I was pretty happy with it. So we've got the crow down the bottom, and that is my totem because I'm from the Wongabong tribe. We've got the triangle that all leads to like a pathway. We start at the bottom and we all work together to the top. Over here we've got the dots, and that is voices, like voices of ancestors past and present. And then we've got the concentric circles here, and they all connect, showing that we all come together, and yeah, with determination and hard work, we get to the top.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure you're very proud to be able to see it out there tonight, and they look beautiful as well. So I guess one last question, Ali, for you. We've seen that the Indigenous round has obviously been in Suncorp Super Netball, and then Tasha just talked about the pathways as well. So how important do you think it is that this Indigenous round does filter down, obviously, to Premier League, and then would you like to see it sort of filter down further as well?
Oh, look, I think it's a really important round to, like I said before, celebrate the contribution that our people make within this sport. But again, I think it's really important to note that we haven't had an Australian diamond who's of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander heritage now for over 20 years. And so again, it comes back to saying to people and elevating that conversation around, are we doing enough as a sport to be inclusive? And this week, and particularly during NAIDOC week, it's a good opportunity to reflect on the role that sport can play, not just in shaping our players' future in this sport, but also in walking together in reconciliation. So
absolutely. Well, I think from my point of view, the sport is very lucky to have both of you involved and being able to, be such great role models for not only Indigenous Australians, but obviously for all Australians as well. So hopefully we do see this come, and, we might, maybe Tasha will be the next in the diamond. So you never know. But yeah, thank you guys, and good luck for your respective Premier League teams as well.
Thank you.